afternoon actually, and welcome back to Galicia. Today is Thursday and we've basically had 6 days of incredible fiestas in Chantada, and not a lot's been done in the garden, but it's been absolutely brilliant. We did a video on Sunday showing the fiesta of Folion, which is the cart fiesta where people from the town, they build these incredible carts that are then pulled by traditional Galician bulls. So that was pretty cool. And then it's been fiestas every night, and then Tuesday it was the empanada fiesta. And the history of that is a bit it's not well documented, but from what I can gather, some friends and some family met up in a park that's named after I think is named after the patron saint of Chantada, on patron saint's day, for eating some empanadas and some music and a bit of a picnic. And then every year from then more and more people have gone, and now it's just the fiesta of empanada and thousands of people go. So that was absolutely incredible. Yesterday we took Zane shopping for his birthday, and today, after a bit of a relaxing morning, I've decided that I actually need to start tackling what is very much an abandoned polytunnel. So I've got tomatoes that need pruning. They're getting very tall now, so I need to take the tops off of them. There's quite a few tomatoes in here that are ready to be picked. There's some that have gone over that I'm going to have to bin. So yeah, basically it's just a completely abandoned mess in here. So we've not really shown you much of our garden so far this year, and we are nearly at the end of the summer now. The heat wave is finished, thank God. It's only 21 degrees right now, which makes it's still quite warm, don't get me wrong, but it's not quite 35 degrees. And then last night it rained for the first time in absolutely ages, so that was yeah, very happy. I think that there's still a lot of fires that are burning across Galicia, but I think that rain was very much needed, and I think there was a big sigh of relief from everybody.
I'm not sure how much of this you can see, but this is a momentous occasion. It's raining. Proper raining. Oh, I'm getting wet. So we were trying to figure this out before, and we think it's not rained since the end of May. I think we've had one day where it rained for an hour. So June, July, here we are at the end of August. And finally some rain. The grass needs it, look at it. Well, that means we're going to have to fix the lawnmower though, doesn't it? If the grass starts growing. The garden will be happy anyway, so happy days.
So this is a brilliant example of what I mean by an abandoned tomato plant. This is the very first one. It is a cherry tomato plant, and as you can see, this bit here shouldn't be here, nor should this bit here, and these bits that are growing down here need coming off. You come to help as well. Oh, if I zoom out a bit maybe. Yeah, so these bits here, look. I should have took these off flipping yonks ago. I say yonks ago, but it's actually really surprising how quickly these things appear. And them tomatoes there need picking. But then look, it's just all of these shoots that just appear from everywhere. So this all just needs pruning and organising, and because I don't really want it to be putting out much more fruit now. I just want it to focus on what it's got and turning it red. I don't need anything else from it. So yeah, there's some more tomato plants here. This one, the top needs taking off. I don't want it to focus on growing anymore. I just want the tomatoes that are there to turn red, because there's these ones here that are, the flowers have recently gone, so these are going to put out some fruit. And potentially these ones here, they're gonna have some fruit coming on them as well. So I don't need any more tomatoes from it. I need it to stop growing and focus on what it's already doing. So it's pretty much the same story with them all. Again, tops need coming off, shoots need coming off, tomatoes need picking. Same with my basil. I've dehydrated loads of basil so far this year, and I've given it to the neighbours. They're also really good for putting in with your hens and your chickens, like an anti-fly kind of thing. It detracts from them, detracts flies, which is very good. I've got some bean plants that I've put in here. I planted these quite late, but they're doing well already. That's what these are down here. So I'm planning over the winter to grow peas and beans in here, but these are a bit of a... I've started these ones already, and you can see at the back there there's already a bean growing. I do have a plant with more beans on, but I'm not sure which one it was. Now this plant here is a scarlet runner bean, and we have had tons and tons and tons of beans off of this, and it's quite funny actually. It just appeared one day in the polytunnel, and I recognised it as being a bean plant, so I just sort of left it as it was, and it's come out of the compost heap. Oh look, yeah, these are starting to go over, so this is probably ready to come out now, because I was saying that there are still some flowers on here, and there are still some shoots. More flowers up there. So maybe I just need to give it a bit of a prune. And then maybe that'll encourage it to put out some more. I don't know. This cherry tomato is just been going and going and going. I mean, it's like a cascade waterfall of cherry tomatoes. It's amazing. But again, I would rather have the ones that I've got turn red than any more coming out of it. So yeah, as you can see, absolutely inundated by tons and tons of delicious tomatoes. This one fell over and it snapped, which was a shame. But I'd kind of hoped that it might grow a bit taller now, but I'll just take them ones off, take that top off. That plant's probably done then, to be fair. We did get tomatoes up until about October, November time last year, which is pretty cool. I guess it depends on whether or not we get a second summer or not, but we'll see. And then over here I have my absolutely incredible cucumber plants. Now I've actually lost count now how many kilos of cucumbers I have now had off of these this year. If I had to guess, it's easily over 100 kilograms, easily. And we've eaten them. I've made tons of different pickles and relishes and gherkins and all sorts from them. I've given them to neighbours, I've given them to the hens, I've given them to the chickens. The pigs absolutely love them. It's just been absolutely crazy, and it just doesn't want to give up. Look at all of this. Still going. I've had to put in extra lines for it to grow up. Yeah, super impressed. So it looks like I've got quite a bit of harvesting to do as well. Down here, This is a pepper plant that again is just appeared in here one day. Just, I'm guessing they're from the compost. And so far, we've not actually got any peppers from it. Plenty of flowers. But so far, no peppers. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what kind of peppers they're going to be when they do appear. If they do appear, I guess we'll see. I kind of had the attitude where if it wanted to grow, I'm going to let you grow. It's not costing me anything. And then down here we have my melons. And we have already eaten one of our watermelons. Let me come past. Now the plants themselves now are not looking so happy. And I think that's because it's now focusing all its attention into ripening the fruit on it. So I've got, these is well in Spanish it's called a frog skin melon. I don't know what kind of melon it is in English. That's where it translates to anyway. So yeah, there's a few of them. I thought there were some more actually. Oh, behind me, there's some more. So these are growing quite well. My watermelons, now the plant is looking very, very sad. By that I mean it's completely dead. And I think it's probably because a mouse has been in here. That's been one of my absolute bugbears this year, is just flipping mice and mice and mice. But listen, I reckon that's probably nearly ready. Although, has it detached? Ah, yeah. It's completely dry, so that's no longer taking any water from the plant. That's completely pointless. I think that's going to be chicken food. I think that these little ones are also going to be chicken food or pig food. Never mind. However, this one is doing all right. That one's doing all right. And this plant has only just died. This is like a traditional watermelon. That's ready to go. In fact, I might take that in the house and cut that open for you to have a look. So now let's move on to my pepper plants. Let me just negotiate this string. Oh, sorry about that. I shall go down to the other end and show you upwards because I've got more space. So this is a cayenne plant, cayenne pepper. These are actually quite spicy. I was very, very impressed. Not eaten any of these ourselves as of yet, but I've used quite a few in some of my pickles that I've done to do like a spicy version. I think once I've got some more of these that have turned red, I'm going to dehydrate them along with some jalapenos. Not quite so spicy, these jalapenos, but still very, very tasty. So yeah, I'll dry them to make myself some chilli powder or chilli flakes or whatever, because I do like a good spice when I'm cooking. Now I've got a few pepper plants, which stupidly I never actually marked what's what, so I don't really know what I've got. I've also not really looked after them very well. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do. I've had loads of branches that have snapped where they're too heavy, so I need to do some more research on how to actually care for my pepper plants. I got a sneaky suspicion that these might be padron peppers because they don't seem to be getting much bigger than that. So I'll probably take them, fry them up. Some more peppers. Now as you can see, none of these are turned red yet, and that's because, well, I don't know why. None of them have turned red yet. Again, this one, I've lost quite a few branches off this one. And then the very end one, I do actually have, oh, a red pepper down there. You can just about see. And then this one, which is huge. And I have had a red pepper off of this one already. They're all definitely a red or a green variety. They're all definitely a red or a yellow variety of pepper, because I'm not massively keen on the green ones. So I'm just hoping that they change soon. So there you have it. There's a bit of a polytunnel tour. Don't have anything else in here really, just some flowers and some parsley and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that it's it started off slow, but it turned out to be a very, very good year, and hopefully we've still got some more to come out of here. But yeah, time to get the gloves on and get pruning. Not my favourite job. I think this is a bit of a sign of potentially overwatering and also the high heat that we've had in here. I mean, you can see this tomato is still green on top, so I've not harvested it as of yet, but I've just caught a glimpse of underneath, and it's got mouldy underneath, even though it's not soft. It's still green on top. It's just not ready to be harvested, but I've lost it due to mould. It's ever such a weird situation. I mean, this one's alright, still green on top, and this one's the same, green on top. It's split underneath, but it's actually alright. But yeah, this whole one here, no good for human consumption. It's a shame, but I guess that's what you get with probably the heat and probably with me overwatering. But that's something that it's impossible to know how much you need to water, especially when it is so hot. So I guess it's just one of those things that happens. Shame, but what do you do? I'm not sure you can tell in a video, but that is a million times better, and an unreal amount of greenery has come out of here, which is great for the compost. Not quite done yet. I'm going to have to spend another couple of hours in here, I reckon, tomorrow to finish at the back end, which I'm sure you can see. Can I angle it? There we go. It's a lot more full at the back. How do I point? At the back than it is at the front. Anyway, so this is how many tomatoes I've got so far. Another basket full. We had to do a repair on this basket where we've been getting so much stuff that it broke, but Adam kindly fixed it for me. So I'll just take you over to the compost that you've just seen me fill one bay, but I actually did fill 2 bays. So this is all this greens from today. This is one that's been just festering now for months and months and months. Turned that, I think, beginning of spring. These are tomato plants that have come up. Clearly the compost's not hot enough, which is surprising really. But yeah, they've just grown, they've self-seeded themselves. And then this is the one that you've just seen me fill up. So I'm going to at some point have to empty this middle one out and maybe turn the other 2 into it to kind of like get it going, because we're not going to need this now until spring, and they are kind of getting full. So yeah, I think that, not quite sure how. I think if I empty the middle one out and then kind of do the other 2 like scoops at a time, and then mix in the almost done compost with it, that'll probably fill that middle bay back up again, and then over the winter that should be done then, ready to be used in spring. And then the other 2 will be almost full with all the other bits and bobs, ready to go into it. Anyway, I'm rambling, they're my kind of thoughts. So yeah, that's quite pleased with that for what I've done this afternoon. Early night tonight, and then hopefully get on it with a full day tomorrow and get it all finished and done. So there you go. So I put a plea out on my TikTok channel a few weeks ago asking for what kind of recipes that I could do for preserving some of my 100 kilograms of cucumbers, and I had some brilliant ideas. So I just thought that I'd show you some of the things that I've done. So there's this quick and sweet pickles. It's a bit sugary, a bit vinegary. I did a normal version of them, and I'm also going to do a spicy version. We've got a bread and butter pickle, and again I've done a spicy and a normal version. Now this big section here, this is all cucumber relish. And I just made one batch of these, and we had it on a hamburger, and it was absolutely incredible. So I made another batch of them, and then I also made a spicy batch of them as well, because I like a bit of spice. All of the spices, incidentally, are from our own garden as well, cayenne. And then I've made some more of the sort of traditional pickles. And because I made these all differently, I've kind of written the ingredients on the front of each jar. So I've been playing with different vinegar to water ratios, different herbs and spices. Again, we've put in jalapenos and pickles in. Jalapenos and cayennes in, fresh from the garden. So far, I've got 32 jars of different things with cucumber. That's just in storage. I think we've got another 4 in the fridge as and when we're trying it. So if anyone's got any other recipes of what I can do with cucumbers to preserve them so that we can enjoy the flavour over the winter, that'd be great. But these aren't the only things that I've been preserving. I've also been preserving all of our tomatoes. So this is a range of mostly just passata, because I saw that we use that quite a lot. I had a go at making my own tomato paste, which I've done from some tomato skins that I saved and then dehydrated. And then we fell in love recently with having grated tomato on toast. So I've had a go at preserving some fresh tomatoes to kind of get that fresh tomato on toast feeling. So yeah, as you can see, I'm running out of space in this storage now. Tomatoes are not showing any sign of giving up. Cucumbers are showing no sign of giving up. So, Adam, over to you to start building me some shelves.
Emma's allowing me to touch her melons, so we're going to sample this one out of the greenhouse that you just saw earlier. Try and cut it without chopping my fingers off. Oh, that was a satisfying crunch, wasn't it? Wow. Look at that bad boy.
That's lovely colour.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Perhaps not quite ripe, according to the white pips. Charles Dowding did a video recently and he said that brown pips means ripe, so... Scarlett's heard that we're cutting melon and has suddenly appeared from her bedroom.
Should we have a...
Yeah. Look at you cutting it all nice. How's that?
Watermelon-y.
Right.
It's got slightly more flavour than the last one.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is riper. For definite, it's definitely sweeter.
Oh, is it? Oh, good.
Do you want to try that?
Obviously. That's much better than the last one. I think that there's less seeds in it as well than the last one. The last one was particularly seedy. Oh, it's dripping everywhere.
That'll be the water out of the melon.
Yeah.
That's it. Well done, babe.
Thanks.
Impressive melons. So I've been collecting the windfall apples for the pigs because they absolutely love them. But we've got a special treat for them today, which Emma sent up from the polytunnel. We have a little melon. So the plant's died off. It's not going to mature anymore. So yeah, the piggies are going to get a treat. See if I can cut it while recording, or whether I'm going to chop my fingers off. Bear with, caller. Hold the line. Does actually look quite nice, quite ripe, but I'm under strict instructions to feed it to the pigs and not to eat it myself. So here we go. Here's Mr. Pig. Let's see if he likes melon. Yeah then, mate. Oh. Yeah. I think it's safe to say melons a hit. Melons a hit with the pigs. Right, now they've had their dessert, I'm going to give them the main course. Buenos dias, bon dia, good morning everybody. Back on with the old piggy corral building. It's been nearly 3 weeks since the pigs have been in this permanent enclosure. They haven't escaped yet, touch wood. And so I'm going to extend out to this bottom area. Down the bottom here you can see the bags of concrete already stacked up there, and I've already got some posts in ready to rock and roll. I appreciate we've already we've put out a video on this, so I want to keep this quite short and condensed in order not to bore you too much. No pun intended. I just realised my face is absolutely covered in mud, and that's because I filled the pig's water butt up just there, you can see it earlier, and before I filled it up I gave the piggies a little mud bath. They're like dogs, they shake themselves, and I got absolutely covered in mud, absolutely covered in it, so that's why my face is looking a little bit covered and speckled in mud. Anyway, I digress. So we're back on with this build here. Whoop, falling over. As you can see, I've already got a couple of posts in down the line. They've got the corner one in there, got a corner one over in the corner there, and I've also put, I don't know if you can see, can you see them? Where are they? Anyway, there's two, hang on, there, them ones. That's going to be a gate from one pen into the other pen, roughly based on the gate I've already built. So they're about 1 metre apart, those. Anyway, so I'll give you a bit more detail on how we're doing this as we go along. So this is the stock-proof fencing we'll be using. It's 50 metres on this roll here, but I've already had a couple of metres off of it. One to finish the end here where slightly miscalculated. So we were about, I don't know, 1 metre short, 1.5 metres short on there. So we had to cut a bit off there. And over here, there's a repair in the fence where I think Mrs. Pig stuck her head through it and split the squares open. So I've repaired that as well. So we're left with about, I'm going to say, just over 45 metres. So what I've done with this next corral, I've got 3 sides to do. 3 sides of this corral to do, because obviously this side is already done, bar the gate. So I've kept these just under 15 metres each, about 14.5, something like that, metres in length. So we can go around in a wanna with this, this stock-proof fencing around there, hopefully. Lots of touching wood going on today. So yeah, so each one of these is just under 15 metres. So the spacing between the fence posts is just under 5 metres, so about 4.5 metres. I don't know why, I just got in my head that anything under 5 metres between posts would be good. It seems to have worked in here, so I've kept with that strategy again. We'll be using the same fence posts. These are thinner ones for the intermediate posts, and these thicker ones for the corner posts and the gate posts. Quite a price difference between the two of them, to be honest. I think these thicker ones here, they're about €12 each, 12.50, something like that. Whereas these thinner ones are about €3 or €4. So quite a price difference. I guess the amount of time it takes to grow a tree to that size versus this size is, yeah, is several years, I would imagine. So these posts are 1.8 long. The wire we put them up them is a metre tall, so we've got about 800 at the top there. And what I'm doing, I'm digging holes about 500 deep. So we're left with a protrusion of 1.3 above ground, roughly. I think that's what it's working out at, roughly. Anyway, that's what we're aiming for. Why 500 deep in the ground? I know with retaining walls you have to dig about a third of the depth of the wall sticking out the ground. So going on that sort of basis, it seemed seemed about right. And to bear in mind that obviously the pigs aren't going to be pushing it from the top here. They only stand about 500, 600 tall. So if they're going to be pushing on the post, it's from here. So that we're going to get geeky. The turning moment on that is, you know, it's not going to be as much as if they're pushing right at the top there. So 500 seems to work, and these posts here, which have been in the ground for 3 weeks now, are solid. There's no moving them whatsoever, no movement at all. So yeah, we'll crack on. Okay, so I've measured this next line out, put a string line across it to try and get it sort of straight. I'm not that precious about it, you know. If I hit a rock and I've got to move it slightly, we'll move it slightly. But you know, I must admit, it does look neater when the posts are all in an exact nice straight line. So the first one measured out 4.6 meters along, the next one will be 4.6, and then to the end will be 4.6, giving us just under our 15 meters stretch. So I'm going to dig this out with a post holer, which is coming really useful since we bought it for the chicken pen. I've had to repair it a few times. The bolts, these bolts have sheared a couple of times, but you know, it's fairly simple to get, you know, some 50 mil on bolts. I put some washers on it just to spread the load a little bit on it. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to dig this out. I'm going to put my tea down and we'll crack on. Right, see what we got. So that's 550 centimeters. Don't know what that is in inches. This is a Spanish tape, so it hasn't got inches on it. I've lost all my English tapes, they've all gone. Buried in holes, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Nice, well over 500. Couple of minutes to get that out, 5 minutes I guess. Yeah, crack on and get the next one done, and then we'll concrete the post in. So once I've dug the holes, I'll start by filling them up with water. The ground's so dry, I want to give the concrete a little bit of something to soak up. I guess in theory I should be bringing a wheelbarrow up here and mixing the concrete in a wheelbarrow. But who's got time for that? And this seems to work. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill this up with water, leave it for a couple of minutes, chuck half a bag of cement in. Well, it's not cement, concrete, hormigón, as it's called in Spain. And then I put the post in, level it up, and then fill the rest up with the concrete again. Use the post to mix it around a bit, and it seems to work. These ones are all nice and straight and rock hard, so we'll carry on doing it. And it's fairly simple. Okay, so that's half a bag of concrete in there. Just going to get the post in, mix it all up a bit. Okay, that's fairly wet. Get some more in there. Bring out the little level. I know it's not straight, it doesn't work properly, but better than nothing. And these posts are natural material anyway, so they're not perfectly straight as it is anyway. So as long as it's there or thereabouts. And you can do stuff like that with it when you're not bothered about it. There we go. That's there or thereabouts. Lovely. Just go and get some more, another bag. Just top that up, force the water out of it a bit, give it a tamp down, another post in. Nice and easy. Mind that root, you don't want to trip over. So for anybody who's interested, these bags of
concrete, hormigone, from the local builders merchants here. These are €4.50. If we go into town and go to one of the big DIY stores, I think we can get them for about $3.70. So it's quite a saving, but it's the difference between a 20-minute round journey and an hour and a half round journey. And it never is an hour and a half, is it? Because you always, when you get to the builders merchants, you always end up looking around at other stuff as well, don't you? So whenever we go into the town, the big town, which we do occasionally to go and do a big shop, then we'll perhaps sometimes pop in and we'll buy. I think last time we went, I think we bought 20 bags. Bought 20 bags back. It's worth it then. But when we're not, I've just bought 10 bags this time. Just nip up the road. Save the time. So there we go. I mean, that's pretty solid already. We'll obviously leave it to go off. When we did the corral up the top there, because we were rushing so much, we got most of these in an afternoon. Then immediately fixed the fence to it with the old U I think I got one in my pocket. The U pins, these jobbies. So when we were hitting this with a hammer, especially as you work your way up, you know, it was loosening them off. This time we've got a bit of time to play with. So yeah, I don't have to do this for a couple of days, and so this will be rock solid when I come back to it next time. On to the next one. So I just want to show you this while I'm here. And the pigs were in this area maybe, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks ago now, and they love these little oak trees, these little baby oak trees. But you can see where they've cleared the grass back, it's given these oak trees opportunity to grow. So they're coming back. It's been about 6 weeks, like I say, and where they've cleared this area. And also we've had quite a lot of wind recently, along with the hot weather, and the little baby chestnuts, some of them are falling down. So this is exactly why we want to get the pigs into this area, because this is a great farm. I mean, you can see there, oh, there we go, there you go, tiny little chestnut. They'll love that, rooting round, finding that. You know, if you look carefully, there are chestnuts all over the place down here. And also the oak trees are absolutely brimming with acorns at the minute as well. So this is exactly why we want the pigs in this area. Anyway, let's crack on. Okay, so I've got all the intermediate posts in. Now I'm going to put these, well, I'm calling them stay posts. So what I'm doing, I'm measuring a metre off the bottom, from there into there where it goes into the ground. And we already know that the wire is going to go up there a metre. That is more than a metre at the minute. So what I'm going to do, I measure up a metre. I'm going to drill this into the side of the main post at a metre tall, and then I'll use my chainsaw to cut it off at the right angle, then undrill it and then screw it back on again. Sorry, that's the cat digging his claws into my legs. He wants some fuss, I think. He's got very sharp claws. Anyway, back to the fence. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do on. So there'll be two on this. I've already dug it out. You can't quite see it, I don't think. Just there, and obviously here where this one's already in. There'll be one up on that corner post there, one on that corner post there, and two on the corner post over there. So we'll crack on. Same principle. Lump of concrete in there, screw it into the top here, and when the wires go into tension this up, this 45-degree angle post will resist the force that the wire is trying to pull the main post over with. That's the theory. Okay, corner posts are in. Just leave the concrete to go off overnight. We might be able to start stringing the fence tomorrow sometime. I think we're going to go to a market tomorrow. It's the first of the month. There's a local market on, so I think we're going there. So whether I get onto it or not, I don't know, but certainly tomorrow or the day after, we'll start getting the fence strung. So when I did this top corral here, I just pinned the wire to the fence posts. But as I've said previously, what became obvious is at the bottom, especially in the middle of the posts, it seemed very loose to me. So what we did, we went round and we ran an extra wire around and then tensioned it up. So there's a wire here and a wire at the bottom here, which is at the bottom there, which is highly tensioned. So that added stability to it. And we haven't got round to doing one at the top, but I'm not too fussed about that because the pigs don't get up there. So when I did this second corral, we ran the wire around first. We ran this wire around. So I've done one at the top, done one at the bottom, and buried under all this where the pigs have been snuffling around. Oh, you can just see it just there, look. There's another high tension wire there, high tension wire there, and then one at the top. So we attach them. Hey, Mr. Pig. Hello, Mrs. Pig. So we attached them to the posts, and then basically hung the fence off of it. So we put a high tension wire right at the bottom, then 200 mil above that. So that's 2 squares of this this stock-proof fencing. I put it on the right way this time, with the big squares at the top and the smaller squares at the bottom, and then one at the top, and then just basically went around. So the posts were in and I had 3 wires attached to it, which were all tensioned up using these tension coupling jobbies. See if we can find one to show you. Not on here. Where are they? Up on this corner here. So they can tension quite a bit of wire. Yeah, so these things here. So that's attached onto there, onto this post. The wire runs round, and then you just get a screwdriver. You get a spanner on here, and just tighten it up. Look who's here. Look who's come to see us. Mr. Piggy. Mr. Pig's here, look. Hey, Mr. Pig, and Mrs. Pig's here. When you're trying to work next to these fences, they're an absolute nightmare. They're chewing everything. They're trying to pinch your tools. Oh no, look who's here as well. They're all here, everybody's here. Hello everybody. Where's your sister? Is she around? No. Anyway, distracted by the animals. Yeah, so we tensioned it all up with that. So this is really nice and tight. It's got loads of tension in it, loads of tension. And then basically hung the stock-proof fencing off of it, and then clipped it up with those little rings, which went round and hung it off, which made it a load easier to install. I was able to do it on my own, whereas last time I needed Zane to help to hold the fence as I was pinning it. And then we didn't have the trouble of going around afterwards either, threading the high tensile wire through it. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. You know, it's nice and straight-ish. Is it straight? Yeah, I mean it looks straight enough. Look, just tie that through there, guys, for me. Yeah, you can see it straight. It looks neater. This second one we've done, it looks neater. It's doing the job. Yeah, I suppose once you've done the job once, second time you do it, it's a bit better. I'm going to show you the gate in a minute. The gate's probably the only bit that I don't think I did as well this time as I did the first time around. But I did make this feeding bowl for them out of the wood that was left over at the gate. So what we've been doing, got the plastic bowl there with the sleepers on the bottom to stop them throwing it around. So what I've been doing is feeding one of them in that one and one of them in this wooden trough, because what tends to happen is if you feed them in the same trough, this Mr. Pig here, he fights with Mrs. Pig, and she doesn't get a look in. So if I can feed them separately, at least she gets a fair amount of food, and she's pleased about that. As you can see, look, she's very pleased that she's getting more food. Little tail wagging. Yeah, so as I say, I wasn't as pleased with this gate as I was the previous one over there, and mainly because the posts aren't parallel. You can see the one on the left, it's not straight, therefore it just meant the gate that we fitted was not as good. Doesn't fit quite as well, but still does the job. Still does the job okay. So yes, it's quite simple design. Just a couple of hinges and a couple of bolts on this side, and you know, it's strong enough. The pigs scratch themselves on it. They come up and scratch themselves, don't you? Scratch your booty on it. So it needs to be fairly substantial, and they can't move it, so that's good. Yeah, so there we go. Corral number 2 is done. Next is to go to number 3, which will be out the back here, into this area here. Now we know this is very stony, this area here, for getting the next gate post in. So I think what we're going to do is put the gate in up here, up in this top corner. Yeah, so I'm going to put the gate in the top corner here, and another gate in the top corner over there. The reason for that is, so the reason for having a gate on that corner here and then this corner here is that at some point in 3 months' time, I guess, the end of November, I think we're planning on doing this. We've got to get them to the butchers or the slaughter. Cat's up my leg again. Yep. So we need to get these to the. We need to get the matador in here to. What's the polite way of saying this? Yeah, he needs to come in and kill the pigs, and then get them into the back of his truck. So what I'm thinking of doing is putting another gate on here on this third corral, and then doing sort of a runway of fence up here and up there with another gate on the end, so he can reverse his truck in, so we can bring the pigs up here. He can do the business, and then we get them straight into the back of the cat's just dug his claws in my leg again. We can get them straight to the back of the truck and away. Yeah, so that's the plan, I think. Yeah, so that area behind me, we'll have a gate there, a gate at the end, and in between a narrow bit of fencing where we can push the pigs into. The matador can do his job and then get them straight into his truck. So that's my thinking. Ultimately, for next year, and for when we get new pigs delivered next year, we can have the truck straight there. We can offload them out off the trailer and straight into this third corral area. And moving forwards, corral number 4 and 5 and 6 over there, as we move forward, so I can either have more pigs next year, and so we can move them more. So we can either have more, or we can move the 2 or 3 that we're going to have next year around a bit more.